The 4 Pillars of a Dementia-Resistant Brain, a Scientific Guide. The Stakes. Brain scan comparison. Healthy versus dementia-affected brain. Every 3 seconds, someone in the world develops dementia. By 2050, over 150 million people will be living with this condition. But here's what neuroscience has revealed. Dementia isn't simply fate. It's the result of decades of accumulated damage, or protection. Timeline graphic showing brain aging from 30s to 80s. Your brain's destiny is being written right now in the choices you make today. The question is, are you building resistance or vulnerability? 4 Pillars visualization. Sleep, diet, movement, connection. Today, we're exploring the 4 scientifically validated pillars that determine your brain's future: sleep, diet, movement, and social connection. Each pillar operates on a fundamental principle of duality: harm or heal, decline or thrive. The neuroscience of risk and resilience. Neurons forming connections, synapses. Your brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons, each forming thousands of connections. This network's integrity determines everything: your memories, personality, independence. When you neglect these pillars, you erode this network. When you honor them, you fortify it. Graph showing modifiable versus non-modifiable dementia risk factors. Age is the single greatest risk factor for dementia. That's unchangeable. But groundbreaking research from the Lancet Commission on Dementia Prevention reveals that up to 40% of dementia cases could be prevented or delayed through lifestyle modification. Risk reduction percentage chart for lifestyle factors. This isn't speculation. This is epidemiology. This is neuroscience, and it puts extraordinary power in your hands. Pillar 1. Sleep, your brain's nightly cleanse. The dark side. What sleep deprivation does to your brain. Person lying awake at night checking phone. Let's start with the harm pathway. When you chronically shortchange your sleep, getting less than 7 hours, maintaining irregular sleep schedules, leaving sleep disorders untreated, you initiate a cascade of neurological damage. Diagram of amyloid beta protein accumulation in brain tissue. Here's the mechanism. During deep sleep, your brain activates the glymphatic system, a waste clearance network that flushes out toxic proteins, particularly amyloid beta and tau. These proteins are the hallmark pathologies of Alzheimer's disease. Image 9. Brain imaging showing reduced glymphatic clearance with poor sleep. When you don't sleep enough, this clearance system becomes compromised. Toxic proteins accumulate between neurons, forming plaques and tangles. Night after night, year after year, the burden grows. Graph showing correlation between chronic sleep deprivation and dementia risk. Studies tracking thousands of people over decades reveal the consequences. Those who consistently sleep less than 6 hours per night in midlife show a 30% higher risk of developing dementia later. Microscopic view of damaged synapses. But the damage extends beyond protein accumulation. Poor sleep impairs synaptic plasticity, your neurons' ability to form and strengthen connections. It disrupts memory consolidation, increases neuroinflammation, and accelerates brain atrophy. Brain scan showing hippocampal volume loss in chronic poor sleepers. The hippocampus, your memory center, literally shrinks with chronic sleep deprivation. Each night of poor sleep is a missed opportunity for restoration and a step toward cognitive vulnerability. The bright side. How quality sleep protects your brain. Person sleeping peacefully with brain activity monitor showing deep sleep waves. Now, the healing pathway. When you prioritize 7-8 hours of quality sleep, you activate your brain's most powerful protective mechanisms. Animation-style diagram of glymphatic system actively clearing waste during sleep. During deep, slow-wave sleep, cerebrospinal fluid surges through your brain tissue, washing away the day's accumulated metabolic waste. The lymphatic system operates at peak efficiency, removing amyloid beta before it can aggregate into plaques. Chart showing optimal sleep duration and lowest dementia risk, U-shaped curve. The research is clear. 78 hours hits the sweet spot. A meta-analysis of over 400,000 participants found this duration correlates with the lowest cognitive decline and dementia risk. Brain imaging showing increased hippocampal activity after good sleep. Quality sleep doesn't just prevent damage, it promotes growth. During REM sleep, your brain consolidates memories, transferring information from short-term to long-term storage. Synaptic connections strengthen. Learning solidifies. Graph showing memory performance improvement with adequate sleep. The hippocampus reorganizes experiences, integrating them into your knowledge network. Without this nightly processing, memories remain fragile, vulnerable to loss. Illustration of sleep cycle stages, light, deep, REM. But it's not just duration, it's quality and consistency. Maintaining regular sleep-wake times synchronizes your circadian rhythms, optimizing hormonal balance, immune function, and metabolic health, all factors that influence dementia risk. Sleep disorders, the hidden threat. Person with sleep apnea wearing CPAP mask. Special attention must be paid to sleep-disordered breathing, particularly obstructive sleep apnea, OSA. This condition affects nearly 1 billion people worldwide, many undiagnosed. Diagram showing airway obstruction during sleep apnea. During OSA episodes, breathing repeatedly stops, causing oxygen deprivation to the brain. These hypoxic events trigger neuroinflammation and vascular damage. Research data showing link between untreated sleep apnea and dementia. The evidence is sobering. Untreated sleep apnea in midlife nearly doubles dementia risk. But here's the hope. Treatment with CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure, or other interventions can significantly reduce this risk. Before/after brain scans showing improvement with sleep apnea treatment. When OSA is properly managed, cognitive function stabilizes or even improves. The brain receives consistent oxygen, inflammation decreases, and sleep quality restores. Practical implementation. Your sleep protocol. Infographic of sleep hygiene practices. The duality principle demands action. To build a dementia-resistant brain through sleep, do this. Maintain consistent bed-wake times, even weekends. Create darkness, blackout curtains, no screens. Keep bedroom cool, 65 to 68 degrees, 18 to 20 degrees, optimal. Establish wind-down routine, 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Get morning sunlight exposure, regulate circadian rhythm, bedroom setup for optimal sleep. Avoid this. Caffeine after 2 p.m., 6-hour half-life. Alcohol as sleep aid, fragments sleep architecture. Large meals 3 hours before bed. Intense exercise 2 hours before bed. Screen exposure 1 hour before bed. Blue light disrupts melatonin. Warning signs of sleep apnea checklist. If you snore loudly, gasp during sleep, experience excessive daytime fatigue, or have witnessed breathing pauses, get evaluated for sleep apnea. This isn't optional. It's brain protective medicine. Sleep tracking data showing improvement over time. Track your sleep patterns. Notice trends. Optimize relentlessly. Your brain's waste clearance system, synaptic plasticity, and memory consolidation depend on this foundation. Sleep is not optional rest, it's mandatory brain maintenance. Every night presents a choice: accumulate damage or facilitate repair. The neuroscience is unambiguous. Sleep is non-negotiable for cognitive longevity. Part 1. Introduction and Sleep. Every 3 seconds, someone in the world develops dementia. By 2050, over 150 million people will be living with this condition. But here's what neuroscience has revealed. Dementia isn't simply fate. It's the result of decades of accumulated damage or protection. Your brain's destiny is being written right now in the choices you make today. The question is, are you building resistance or vulnerability? Today, we're exploring the 4 scientifically validated pillars that determine your brain's future: sleep, diet, movement, and social connection. Each pillar operates on a fundamental principle of duality: harm or heal, decline or thrive. Your brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons, each forming thousands of connections. This network's integrity determines everything: your memories, personality, independence. When you neglect these pillars, you erode this network. When you honor them, you fortify it. Age is the single greatest risk factor for dementia. That's unchangeable. But groundbreaking research from the Lancet Commission on Dementia Prevention reveals that up to 40% of dementia cases could be prevented or delayed through lifestyle modification. This isn't speculation. This is epidemiology. This is neuroscience. And it puts extraordinary power in your hands. Pillar 1. Sleep, your brain's nightly cleanse. Let's start with the harm pathway. When you chronically shortchange your sleep, getting less than 7 hours, maintaining irregular sleep schedules, leaving sleep disorders untreated, you initiate a cascade of neurological damage. During deep sleep, your brain activates the glymphatic system, a waste clearance network that flushes out toxic proteins, particularly amyloid beta and TIU. These proteins are the hallmark pathologies of Alzheimer's disease. When you don't sleep enough, this clearance system becomes compromised. Toxic proteins accumulate between neurons, forming plaques and tangles. Night after night, year after year, the burden grows. Studies tracking thousands of people over decades reveal the consequences. Those who consistently sleep less than 6 hours per night in midlife show a 30% higher risk of developing dementia later. But the damage extends beyond protein accumulation. Poor sleep impairs synaptic plasticity, your neurons' ability to form and strengthen connections. It disrupts memory consolidation, increases neuroinflammation, and accelerates brain atrophy. The hippocampus, your memory center, literally shrinks with chronic sleep deprivation. Now, the healing pathway. When you prioritize 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, you activate your brain's most powerful protective mechanisms. During deep, slow-wave sleep, cerebrospinal fluid surges through your brain tissue, washing away the day's accumulated metabolic waste. The glymphatic system operates at peak efficiency, removing amyloid beta before it can aggregate into plaques. The research is clear: 7 to 8 hours hits the sweet spot. A meta-analysis of over 400,000 participants found this duration correlates with the lowest cognitive decline and dementia risk. Quality sleep doesn't just prevent damage, it promotes growth. During REM sleep, your brain consolidates memories, transferring information from short-term to long-term storage. Synaptic connections strengthen. Learning solidifies. The hippocampus reorganizes experiences, integrating them into your knowledge network. Special attention must be paid to sleep-disordered breathing, particularly obstructive sleep apnea. This condition affects nearly 1 billion people worldwide, many undiagnosed. During sleep apnea episodes, breathing repeatedly stops, causing oxygen deprivation to the brain. The evidence is sobering. Untreated sleep apnea in midlife nearly doubles dementia risk. But here's the hope. Treatment with CPAP or other interventions can significantly reduce this risk. The duality principle demands action. Maintain consistent bed-wake times, even on weekends. Create darkness with blackout curtains and no screens. Keep your bedroom cool. 65 to 68 degrees is optimal. Establish a wind-down routine, 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Get morning sunlight exposure to regulate your circadian rhythm. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. It has a 6-hour half-life. Don't use alcohol as a sleep aid. It fragments sleep architecture. Avoid large meals 3 hours before bed, intense exercise 2 hours before bed, and screen exposure 1 hour before bed. If you snore loudly, gasp during sleep, experience excessive daytime fatigue, or have witnessed breathing pauses, get evaluated for sleep apnea. This isn't optional. It's brain protective medicine. Every night presents a choice: accumulate damage or facilitate repair. The neuroscience is unambiguous. Sleep is non-negotiable for cognitive longevity. Subscribe to Mind Over Time for more science-backed strategies to protect your brain. Part 2. Diet: Fueling Resistance or Decline. Pillar 2. Diet: The metabolic foundation of brain health. Your brain consumes 20% of your body's energy despite representing only 2% of body weight. What you feed it matters profoundly. Let's examine the harm pathway first. When your diet centers on processed foods, refined sugars, saturated fats, and minimal vegetables or omega-3s, you initiate multiple pathways of neurological damage. Large-scale studies demonstrate the consequences. People consuming the highest amounts of ultra-processed foods show 28% faster cognitive decline compared to those eating the least. First, metabolic dysfunction. Diets high in refined sugars and saturated fats promote insulin resistance, not just in your body, but in your brain. The hippocampus and cortex become less responsive to insulin, impairing glucose metabolism and energy production. Without adequate energy, neurons cannot maintain synaptic connections, clear waste products, or resist oxidative stress. Some researchers now call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. The epidemiology confirms it. Type 2 diabetes increases dementia risk by approximately 60%. Prediabetes raises risk by 15 to 20%. Second, chronic inflammation. Processed foods trigger systemic inflammation, elevated cytokines, activated microglia, and oxidative stress. This neuroinflammation damages neurons, disrupts synaptic signaling, and promotes tau protein pathology. When microglia remain chronically activated, they shift from protective to destructive, actually pruning healthy synapses. Third, vascular damage. Diets high in saturated fats, trans fats, and sodium promote atherosclerosis, the buildup of plaques in blood vessels, including those supplying your brain. Reduced cerebral blood flow means neurons receive less oxygen and nutrients. This vascular cognitive impairment accounts for up to 20% of dementia cases. Fourth, obesity itself. Excess body weight in midlife is associated with 30 to 40% increased dementia risk decades later. Adipose tissue secretes inflammatory molecules, disrupts hormonal balance, and promotes insulin resistance. Fifth, inadequate antioxidant defenses. Poor diets lack the colorful vegetables, fruits, and nuts that provide polyphenols and vitamins that neutralize free radicals. Without these defenses, oxidative stress damages cells and accelerates neurodegeneration. Now, the healing pathway. When you adopt a brain-healthy dietary pattern, particularly Mediterranean-style nutrition, you activate multiple neuroprotective mechanisms. The Mediterranean diet isn't a gimmick. It's the most extensively studied dietary pattern for brain health, backed by decades of research across millions of participants. First, essential fatty acids. Omega-3s, especially DHA from fish, algae, and certain seeds, are structural components of neuronal membranes. They maintain membrane fluidity, support synaptic function, and exhibit anti-inflammatory properties. Studies show that higher omega-3 intake is associated with larger hippocampal volume, better memory performance, and reduced dementia risk. Second, polyphenols and antioxidants. The vibrant colors in vegetables, fruits, and olive oil signal the presence of powerful neuroprotective compounds. resveratrol, quercetin, anthocyanins. These molecules cross the blood-brain barrier, scavenge free radicals, reduce neuroinflammation, and may even help clear amyloid beta proteins. Third, vascular health. The unsaturated fats from olive oil and nuts, combined with minimal saturated fat, improve cholesterol profiles and reduce atherosclerosis. Cerebral blood vessels remain flexible and clear. Fourth, metabolic optimization. Whole grains, legumes, and vegetables provide complex carbohydrates that prevent blood sugar spikes. Fiber feeds beneficial gut bacteria, which produce anti-inflammatory compounds that reach the brain. This stable energy supply supports consistent neuronal function and maintains insulin sensitivity. A variant called the MIND diet specifically targets brain health, emphasizing berries, leafy greens, and olive oil while limiting red meat and sweets. Rigorous adherence to the MIND diet has been associated with cognitive benefits equivalent to being 7.5 years younger and up to 53% lower Alzheimer's risk. Prioritize leafy greens, 6 or more servings per week, other vegetables daily, berries twice weekly, fatty fish 2 to 3 times weekly, nuts 5 times weekly, olive oil as your primary fat source, whole grains 3 times daily, and legumes 3 times weekly. Minimize red meat, butter, cheese, pastries, and fried or fast food. Critical insight: dietary patterns in midlife, your 40s through 60s, are particularly predictive of late-life dementia risk. The pathological processes begin decades before symptoms, but it's never too late to benefit. Even in older adults, adopting Mediterranean dietary patterns shows cognitive benefits within months. Subscribe to Mind Over Time for more science-backed strategies to protect your brain. The exercise prescription. Pillar 3. Movement. Your brain's physical training. We evolved to move. For millions of years, human survival depended on physical activity: hunting, gathering, migrating. Modern sedentary life represents an evolutionary mismatch with profound consequences for brain health. Today, 60 to 85% of the world's population is insufficiently active. This physical inactivity is estimated to cause 9% of premature mortality and significantly contributes to dementia burden. First, reduced cerebral perfusion. Physical inactivity means your cardiovascular system operates at minimal capacity. Blood flow to the brain decreases, reducing oxygen and nutrient delivery to neurons. Longitudinal studies demonstrate that sedentary middle-aged adults show accelerated brain atrophy, particularly in the hippocampus and cortex. Second, diminished neurotrophic factors. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor is a protein that promotes neuronal survival, growth, and plasticity. It's essential for learning and memory. Physical inactivity dramatically reduces BDNF production. Without this molecular support, neurons become more vulnerable to stress and damage. Third, impaired neurogenesis. Your adult brain can generate new neurons, primarily in the hippocampus. Sedentary behavior suppresses neurogenesis. Fewer new neurons mean reduced capacity for forming new memories. Fourth, cardiovascular and metabolic deterioration. Physical inactivity promotes obesity, hypertension, diabetes, and heart disease, all independent dementia risk factors. A meta-analysis found that physical inactivity is associated with 82% increased risk of dementia. Fifth, systemic inflammation. Sedentary behavior is associated with elevated inflammatory markers. Your muscles aren't just for movement. They're endocrine organs that communicate with your brain. Without regular contraction, this protective signaling diminishes. Now, the transformative healing pathway. Physical exercise is the single most powerful lifestyle intervention for brain health. The evidence is overwhelming. Here's the remarkable finding. Aerobic exercise can actually increase hippocampal volume in older adults. In a landmark study, 1 year of regular aerobic exercise increased hippocampal volume by 2%, effectively reversing 1 to 2 years of age-related shrinkage. First, enhanced cerebrovascular health. Exercise strengthens your heart, improves vascular elasticity, reduces blood pressure, and promotes angiogenesis, formation of new blood vessels in the brain. More blood vessels mean better oxygen delivery and more efficient waste removal. Second, dramatic BDNF elevation. Aerobic exercise can increase BDNF levels by 2 to 3-fold. This molecular fertilizer for neurons promotes synaptic plasticity, neuronal survival, neurogenesis, and dendritic branching. Third, sustained neurogenesis. Exercise is the most robust known stimulator of adult hippocampal neurogenesis. Animal studies show 2 to 3-fold increases. Human studies demonstrate measurable improvements in memory and hippocampal volume. Fourth, anti-inflammatory effects. Regular exercise shifts your immune system toward an anti-inflammatory state. Exercise-induced myokines like irisin cross the blood-brain barrier and trigger BDNF expression. Your muscles literally signal your brain to grow and protect itself. Fifth, metabolic optimization. Exercise improves insulin sensitivity, enhances glucose metabolism, promotes healthy mitochondrial function, and helps maintain healthy body weight. Sixth, enhanced protein clearance. Exercise promotes cerebral blood flow and potentially glymphatic function, helping clear toxic proteins like amyloid beta before they aggregate. The epidemiological evidence is compelling. Regular physical activity is associated with 30 to 40% lower dementia risk. For aerobic exercise, target 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity. That is brisk walking where you can talk but not sing, or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity. Studies show a dose-response relationship. More exercise yields greater benefit. For resistance training, target 2 to 3 sessions weekly, working major muscle groups. Studies show that resistance training improves cognitive function, particularly executive function and memory, independent of aerobic exercise. Activities that challenge balance and coordination provide additional cognitive benefits. Tai Chi, yoga, dance, martial arts. These mind-body practices combine physical movement with mental focus, offering dual cognitive stimulation. If you're currently inactive, start with 10-minute walks after meals and add 2 to 3 minutes weekly. If time is limited, break it up. 3 10-minute sessions equal 1 30-minute session for health benefits. Take stairs, walk during phone calls, do bodyweight exercises during TV commercials. High-intensity interval training provides substantial benefits in less time. 4 Tier 5 intervals of 4 minutes at high intensity with 3-minute recovery, 2 to 3 times weekly. Subscribe to Mind Over Time for more science-backed strategies to protect your brain. Pillar 4. Social connection. Building cognitive reserve. Through relationships. We are profoundly social creatures. For millennia, human survival depended on group cooperation. Isolation meant death. Your brain is wired for connection, and when deprived of it, pathology follows. Today, loneliness has reached epidemic proportions. In many developed nations, 20 to 30% of older adults report frequent loneliness, and the cognitive consequences are severe. First, reduced cognitive stimulation. Social interaction demands complex neural processing, reading facial expressions, interpreting tone, formulating responses, managing turn-taking. Without regular social engagement, these neural networks receive insufficient stimulation. Unused pathways weaken and prune away. Second, chronic stress activation. Loneliness triggers biological stress responses, elevated cortisol, increased inflammatory markers, dysregulated immune function. Chronic cortisol exposure damages the hippocampus, impairing neurogenesis and synaptic plasticity. Third, disrupted sleep. Lonely individuals show fragmented sleep patterns, reduced slow-wave sleep, and elevated nighttime vigilance. This compounds the cognitive damage we discussed in Pillar 1. Fourth, increased psychiatric risk. Social isolation dramatically increases risk of depression and anxiety, both independent risk factors for cognitive decline and dementia. The epidemiological evidence is stark. Loneliness and social isolation are associated with approximately 50% increased risk of dementia. Chronic loneliness carries health risks equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes daily. Now, the healing pathway. Rich social engagement is one of the most powerful protectors against cognitive decline. First, cognitive reserve. Engaging in complex social interactions creates and strengthens neural networks, building redundancy and resilience. This is cognitive reserve, the brain's ability to maintain function despite underlying pathology. Think of it as multiple routes to a destination. If one road becomes damaged, alternative routes allow you to reach your goal. Second, multi-domain stimulation. Social interaction simultaneously engages language processing, executive function, emotional regulation, memory, theory of mind, and face processing. Third, neurochemical benefits. Positive social interactions trigger release of dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, and serotonin. These neurochemicals reduce cortisol, lower inflammation, support immune function, and promote neuroplasticity. Fourth, purpose and meaning. Social roles. Being a friend, mentor, volunteer, community member provide sense of purpose, which is independently associated with reduced dementia risk and slower cognitive decline. The Rush Memory and Aging Project found that those with the most social activity had a rate of cognitive decline 70% slower than those with the least social activity. Critical distinction. It's not just about the number of social contacts. Quality trumps quantity. Meaningful relationships with emotional depth provide greater cognitive benefit than superficial interactions. One confidant with whom you can share vulnerabilities may be more protective than a dozen casual acquaintances. Social connection works synergistically with cognitive engagement, deliberately challenging your brain with novel, complex activities. Your brain remains plastic throughout life. Learning new skills creates new synaptic connections and can even induce structural changes in relevant brain regions. High-value activities include learning a new language. Bilingualism shows strong protective effects and has been associated with dementia onset delayed by 4 to 5 years. Learning an instrument in older adulthood improves working memory, processing speed, and executive function. Dance combines physical, cognitive, and social elements. Complex games like chess and bridge challenge strategic thinking. Creative activities like art creation, writing, and puzzle solving engage divergent thinking and flexible cognition. Educational and social activities like classes, book clubs, volunteering, and cultural events provide triple benefits: social connection, cognitive challenge, and sense of purpose. If you're currently isolated, start by reconnecting with one person from your past. Join one group based on an existing interest. Volunteer for 2 to 4 hours weekly. Attend a religious or spiritual community if aligned with your values. Take a class that requires interaction. Build gradually by scheduling regular social activities, initiating conversations, asking questions, sharing vulnerabilities appropriately, and maintaining contact between meetings. Leverage multiple generations. Mentor younger people, learn from older adults, engage with children. Intergenerational connection provides unique cognitive stimulation. Use technology wisely with video calls for distant loved ones and online communities around interests, but prioritize in person when possible. Passive social media scrolling doesn't provide the same benefits as active, reciprocal interaction. When choosing cognitive activities, ensure they are novel, complex, challenging, progressive, engaging, and sustained over months or years. Your brain adapts to demands placed upon it. Challenge it, and it strengthens. Allow it to idle, and it atrophies. Conclusion: integrating the 4 pillars. These 4 pillars don't operate in isolation. They synergize. Quality sleep enhances the cognitive benefits of daytime activities. Good nutrition fuels effective exercise. Physical activity improves sleep quality. Social engagement motivates healthy behaviors. Studies examining multiple lifestyle factors simultaneously find that the benefits compound. People adhering to 4 to 5 healthy lifestyle factors show up to 60% lower dementia risk compared to those adhering to 0-1 factors. One analysis calculated that a healthy lifestyle profile was associated with gaining approximately 5 to 6 dementia-free years. Throughout this exploration, we've seen the duality principle manifest. Sleep's harm pathway leads from deprivation to toxic protein accumulation to neurodegeneration, while its healing pathway leads from quality rest to glymphatic clearance to neuroprotection. Diet's harm pathway leads from processed foods to inflammation and metabolic dysfunction to cognitive decline, while its healing pathway leads from Mediterranean patterns to vascular health and neuroprotection to cognitive resilience. Movement's harm pathway leads from sedentary life to reduced BDNF and blood flow to atrophy, while its healing pathway leads from regular exercise to neurogenesis and vascular health to brain growth. Connection's harm pathway leads from isolation to chronic stress and understimulation to vulnerability, while its healing pathway leads from engagement to cognitive reserve and purpose to resilience. Age remains the single greatest risk factor for dementia. That reality doesn't change, but your choices profoundly influence whether and when cognitive decline manifests. Think of brain health as a long-term investment. Each healthy choice is a deposit. Each unhealthy choice is a withdrawal. The effects compound over decades. Midlife, your 40s through 60s, appears particularly critical. This is when pathological processes often begin, decades before symptoms. But interventions benefit people at any age. Even people in their 70s and 80s show cognitive improvements with lifestyle modifications. Don't attempt to overhaul everything simultaneously. Choose one pillar that needs the most attention. If you have sleep problems, address that first. It will make everything else easier. If you have a poor diet, change one meal at a time. If you're sedentary, start with 10-minute daily walks. If you're isolated, reach out to one person this week. Use implementation intentions. Don't just decide, "I'll exercise more." Specify when, where, and what. Design your environment to make healthy choices easier. Keep walking shoes by the door. Pre-cut vegetables in visible containers. Schedule social activities like appointments. Remove screens from your bedroom. Leverage social support. Tell others about your goals. Join groups pursuing similar objectives. Track your progress. What gets measured gets managed. Currently, there is no cure for Alzheimer's disease or most dementias. Available medications provide only modest symptomatic relief. Prevention is exponentially more effective than treatment. Alzheimer's pathology begins 20 to 30 years before clinical symptoms. The opportunity lies in the preclinical phase, when pathology is minimal and your brain retains full resilience. That window is now. Neuroscience and epidemiology have revealed much, but significant uncertainty remains. These pillars reduce risk. They don't eliminate it. Some people with exemplary lifestyles develop dementia. Some with poor lifestyles remain sharp into their 90s. But we're playing probabilities. You're tilting the odds substantially in your favor. You stand at a fork. Down one path, accumulated damage, mounting risk, eventual decline. Down the other, daily deposits into cognitive reserve, resilience, sustained vitality. The choice is yours, and it begins today. Tonight, Prioritize your 7-8 hours of quality sleep. Tomorrow morning, eat a brain-healthy breakfast, berries, nuts, whole grains. Tomorrow afternoon, take a 30-minute walk. Tomorrow evening, call a friend you haven't spoken to recently or attend a community event. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. Most days, most of the time, moving in the right direction. Your future brain, 10, 20, 30 years from now, is being shaped by today's choices. Neuroscience has given you the blueprint. The construction work is yours. Subscribe to Mind Over Time for more science-backed strategies to protect your brain.